So what's going on, everyone? Today we're going to do a price prediction in the market for Litecoin. You guys can currently see in front of you a price prediction, and it did not go well. We did a price prediction in Litecoin going all the way back to March the 27th. It was a time where we expected the market to go higher, and in the end, you guys can see that it did not. So what's going to happen next? Let's go ahead and talk about it real quick before I do. If you guys like my videos, my price predictions, make sure you guys hit that like, share, and subscribe. And in certain instances, I don't get it correct. And this is one example to which that occurred. I did not get this price prediction right. We can also talk about the reason why, though, so that we can become better at predicting and forecasting where prices are going to go. All right, so let's go ahead and do this real quick. First thing we're going to do is talk about what happened in the market in Litecoin. Well, it's kind of simple when you look at the chart, because we've already identified a location on the chart that we identified as a selling zone or a sell pocket. Okay, we already identified that from this sell-off that occurred in Litecoin on March the 10th, to where the market ended down 7.5%. So the market in Litecoin from March the 10th pretty much just consolidated, and that was one reason why we expected the price to go higher in Litecoin, is because the market wasn't capitalizing off of that weakness that occurred on March the 10th. Instead, it was just trading within a range, and you can even see it right here that the market in Litecoin was making higher lows in the market. So it was like, all right, cool. Apparently, the market is amped to try to go higher in price. No problem. The thing that caused Litecoin to not go higher would be these people who initially sold on March the 10th, maybe even on March the 9th for Litecoin, because they were still there. And we saw that occur on the 26th of March, okay? You guys can see that this is where those buyers, they attempted to try to bring the price in Litecoin above that sell pocket, but in the end, price closed down 2%. And then the buyers the next day, when we did our price prediction, it looked like the market was still aiming for higher prices. But the clue occurred right there on March the 28th that told you that these buyers, apparently they fled, they got scared, they ran out of money, they could not hold these sellers within that pocket, because on March the 28th, Litecoin fell almost 6%, and it's been downhill since then. Okay, so we need to start paying attention to these price bars and in location to where they are to buy pockets and sell pockets. It gives us a clue as to whether or not we need to cut the play out quickly, or can we continue to ride the prediction? Because right there on March the 28th, that gave us a massive clue that you may want to go ahead and cut out your prediction. And that would have saved you on the close maybe 8% versus being down almost 15%. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean this up real quick. So we now know that this area in Litecoin is still valid. Okay, and you can see that price in Litecoin came all the way back up here towards $90, and we're still seeing the market getting rejected there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and create that as another sell pocket. Okay, the reason why we know that's a sell pocket is because this is a fantastic day right there on Litecoin. The market went up almost 7%, but then the next day, something was pumping the brakes. Something stopped Litecoin from continuing in this momentum that it had the day before. And the only thing that can do that would be sellers within this price range. Okay, look at that. Even right here, you can see that the market here in Litecoin started the seller, like whoever the seller was, they started their campaign right there. Okay, April 2nd. Market in Litecoin dipped, came all the way back up to that price area, and that same seller came back and said, cool, price is back to where I needed to at least take profit or break even. I got more Litecoin to sell. And that's exactly what they did. So the buyers are going against somebody or a couple of people who wants to sell their Litecoin right there around $90. And until that person or group of people sells out their Litecoin in this pocket, price and Litecoin will continue to bump its head and continue to dip. Okay. Now, since we identify where the sellers are, let's go ahead and identify where these buyers are. And here's another one right here. I do like this area for Litecoin. Let me do one more. All right, so now let's run through these other time frames to see. Okay, so here it is on the 2. Again, I'm not too bullish on the 2, especially on this 2-day bar. Seeing price close at the bottom of the bar right now. We got 13 hours left, so this can definitely change. But looking how it looks now as a snapshot, I would have to say that Litecoin does look weak. Here it is on the 3, same thing on the 3. Looks pretty weak there as well. Here it is on the 4. Litecoin on the 5. This 5-day bar is why the market on the 2, 3, and the 4 looks weak. The 5-day chart should have given you that heads up a long time ago. Here it is on the weekly too. Okay. So now, even though we're anticipating price of Litecoin to go lower, it may just be a small movement down to where buyers can recoup and, you know, reallocate their funds so that they can come in and buy more Litecoin for the resumption of higher prices. This could be a pause, a break in the market in Litecoin, but I do suspect that Litecoin is trying to go lower. So we're going to go ahead and look for the price to go down in Litecoin. I'm not going to be drastically bearish though in Litecoin, but we're going to look for price to dip. Now I am aware, and I want you to be aware, that we can see the price bounce right now. Okay. And as you can tell right here on these high volume bars for Litecoin, the market is trying to bounce right now. Definitely can see the high volume on these 2 30-minute bars. Price currently is traded within a range. It doesn't look like those buyers really are there though. Okay, so let me do this. So let's go ahead and look for price and Litecoin to go lower. Our first target is going to be in this middle buy pocket, either at the high or the low. The lower, that gives us 5.5%. Next target is going to be at $73, 10.73. Our third target is going to be down here at $70.88 or so, 13.31% there. Okay. And that's it. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you maintain profit, and as always, trade different.